Welcome to Macro Crest, where we focus on fundamentals for our directional bias and technicals for our entries. So, this week, this is what we've been looking at. This was what we looked at on the weekly time frame, and we will get into this a little bit. Let's have a look at what we'll be looking out for next week. Fundamentally, we have NFP this week, but first of all, let's look at what we have from Monday. Monday, nothing. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, we have inflation from Aussie. We have the monetary policy report from CAD. We have GDP from the US. And then we have FOMC on Wednesday. So it's a packed week. Although the fact is that they're not going to cut and they're not going to hike. But the thing is, we have to understand what the statement is going to be all about. Is it going to be a bullish sentiment from the statement? And also we have BOJ policy rates on Thursday. So so that will be 3 central bank rates this week. And then for the BOJ, we actually, I think it's going to be neutral to a bearish one. Okay, so that's what I'm looking out for from there. Now we have the core PC, which is the Fed measurement for CPI, and the pricing in a positive one. Alright, so we have the inflation data from the Euro region, which is still looking at a bullish one, and then the the NFP data. Now with all this, the most critical and most important one is Friday 1st, which is not all this economic data, but due to tariff. The tariff deadline, Trump said is not going to extend it. So what does that mean for the dollar? A lot of people will have to push into the dollar, so I'm still looking at the dollar strength for this week. I'm looking at the card weakness. I'm looking at euro strength. Of course, the pound weakness is still on board. Of course, this was the analysis I had for last week, but then we had this push to the downside to this demand, and after this we have a break of structure on this time frame. All right, so this was a little break of structure, so I'm expecting a pull back into the demand and push to the upside. For this reason, last week I made mention of the GU shots, and it has worked perfectly fine. So this is what I'm looking out for, a shot all the way down. But you can see from the weekly we have a very massive bearish pin bar. But the only problem was this. The only problem I have here on this is the entry. Where am I entering from? Okay, so if we look at it from the 4 hours, is there any supply we can get in from? Probably there is nothing much anyways. What I'm saying is here, which is far, but this should be where I'll expect a pullback into. But should there not be, then we would expect a push first, then pull back, and then continue to the downside. That's what I'm looking out for the GU. For EU, I got into a position on Friday. The reason why is because this supply was mitigated again. Okay, so it was mitigated. Now what happened is, if we go to 1 hour time frame, which this is a trending time frame, been going to the upside, we have this breakout structure. So I was like, okay, so there is a supply here, for a short, but I just took the position here. My stop loss is just up there, so I'm expecting a push to the downside. Just very simple. That's what I'm looking out for the Euro USD. Remember, the Euro is still strong, and if the Euro is still strong, it's strong against what? I have my Euro card, which we participated in this short, but then I had doubts, and here we have this. So if we see this, we have a bullish candle. Alright, so what's the daily saying? We are bullish in a sense. We can consider this a higher high, we can consider this a higher low. So this is a continuation on the daily time frame. So the next question is, where are we expecting a pullback to? We have this area of demand that we have to work with. So that's what I'm looking out for the Euro card. And we also have the Euro yen. Of course, I'm still bearish on the yen. Looking at it from the weekly time frame, bullish on this guy. What's the daily time frame saying? The structure is not too clear, but on the 4 hours we have a very clear structure. Of course, this is massive bullishness to the upside, which we have our high, we have our low, we have our high, and then we have this pullback. Of course, we are going to the upside. So what do we do with this? We find our continuations to the upside using your daily time frame. You have our D1 zones, so you can just look for your zones on your 1 hour, and you have the best, because what I have here is there's this grab liquidity, of course. So potentially this could be a demand, but within the week you could find your demand there. So I'll be more focused on that. For the pound weakness, I have GA. Okay, this was what I was looking at for last week, which played out, although I've not been in this position. Looking at it from the daily time frame, we have a very clear structure, very clear structure. So at first I told you this is our lower low breakout structure, so I was expecting a pull to short. So if this is a short, you can look for re-entries on the lower time frame, the 4 hours and the 1 hour, for continuations to the downside. We had Swiss, the pound switch, which I made mention of last week. Look at this, been bearish. So what are we looking out for? We're still going to the downside. We can see we had a break, we had another break last week. So what is, you could look for this supply here, this H for supply, to shorts, but then when price comes back we might see a higher price before a deeper short. So it's just very plain simple. Swiss is kind of strong, the pound is weak. GU is also weak, of course, we've checked that. And then for the card is weak, of course. That's why this USD card has been fantastic. It's a fantastic run, which we've looked into. Going to the 4 hours, yes, we did not have a close above this, so we had an issue with this market. I was expecting a push from this area, but unfortunately market went deeper to an area I never expected. Why? Because of it was a volatile one, but now I'm convinced price should go higher. So let's take all this out. If we can look at it, we don't have anything up until this point, so I expect price to hit as high as this. So we're looking at a 200 pip movement from current price. So that's where I'll be looking at USD card, USD Swiss, USD Swiss, and it's been a hell of a ride. I don't like it. Tired. So This USD yen, of course, I'm still expecting price to go higher from here. So you got just a little pullback, but should it go lower, just in case, so we might see price heading to 14